Welcome, everyone, to Totally Whiskey and Wine. I'm your host, Jason, and with me, as always, is James, our intermediate, and King Zac, our industry professional.
Indeed, result snob.
So today, we will be reviewing the Crown Royale Blackberry flavored whiskey. So this is 70 proof, and King Zac, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
If for your future endeavors, may you address me as Your Royal Highness King Zachary.
Grandmaster.
Drama Master King Zachary. Yes.
Very well, Your Highness.
You forgot the rest of the title.
Sorry.
Anyways, so in Canadian law, you are allowed to blend up to 10% non-whiskey distillate into a particular product. So if you were to make, say, a blackberry liqueur containing almost entirely sugar and blend it in with very young Canadian whiskey, you could in fact make such an esteemed beverage as this. So,
Shall I touch the bottle?
You may, sire. I dare say that it is very likely with all of the colors added to this to make it brown.
It's all of 35%, sir.
Indeed, all of
75.
Regardless, this is the finest craft Canada can produce, I assure you, from like all high-esteemed American perspective.
Okay.
Jason, might you go on to the view for
Yes.
my young squire?
Continue.
Thank you, Your Majesty, Most High Grandmaster King Zachary. So, what did we score this? Drum roll, please. $56. So we gave this a 56, and this was even with
Off with his head.
Zachary. So let's take a look at how we score things. So we blind test and then rate it in
Blind taste.
in 4 different categories: nose, mouthfeel, flavor, and finally the finish, where we're going to score each one of those categories up to 25 points each, add those together to get a total up to 100, and then we average out our scores in order to get the total. So that's how we get to it. So let's talk a little bit about each of those categories. And I'm going to go ahead and start us off with the nose. So this is not meant to be a sipping whiskey. Just keep that in mind. But we did do it as a sipping whiskey. I got notes, even with my very limited nose, of Blackberry Jolly Rancher mixed with Smarties. It is a very artificial scent, but it does come through very powerfully. And it is supposed to be blackberry. Yes, that comes through. So I actually gave that a 20 because it came through with the scent it did. Yes. So James, why don't you continue?
Let me swallow that. Okay, for the nose, I gave it 16 artificial berry tart. Like a tart kind of nose thing, 16. Yep.
Dram Master, Your Majesty, King Zachary.
How about feel about that drink?
I will dare say I give it a score no less than 24. This particular Canadian whiskey is exemplary in notes of blackberry perfume, high fructose corn syrup, light oak, and ethanol fumes. I would say, as my American palate is far superior,
It's I nose and swallow.
a sweet tea would be best accompanying thee. Very well,
Interesting.
Jason. Continue on to the mouthfeel.
Thank you, Dram Master, Your Highness, King Zachary. So mouthfeel.
Ooh.
For the mouthfeel, I gave it a 5 because as a sipping whiskey, that is not what this is, and it definitely doesn't do that. I literally did not get shit off of it. Pardon my French, but don't. I did not get anything out of that.
That is actually the finest English you could have said.
Yes.
Slam it. Mouthfeel. Empty. Light. I gave it a 14. It's there. It's probably a little more than it deserves, but it drinks because it's liquid.
I gave it a 55 on mouthfeel. There is nothing wrong with this beverage. This is the nectar of the gods, I dare say.
And what did you actually score?
I scored it a 5 because
Okay.
it drinks of cough syrup.
Yes.
This would make a sick child even more sickly.
It might be poison.
Dare I say all alcohol is.
Yeah. That brings us.
Fun fact,
It is.
alcohol will kill you.
And that brings us to flavor. All right, so flavor. Yeah, I'm gonna be nice. Blackberry perfume. Once again, it says blackberry on there. I got blackberry, so I gave it a 15 because, yeah, I got blackberry, but not the greatest blackberry in the world, so that's why it didn't get any higher than a 15.
All right, gentlemen, it gets a 12. It's sweetener and it tastes like food dye. I don't even know that I've ever drank like or tasted straight food dye, but like food dye. I was like, this just tastes like dye, like the weird stuff that's in soda that gives the color. It's wrong, not mixed right. Food dye. 12. 12.
Thank you, my court. I will say
Cousins.
that the flavor score I provided is that of 19. It is as advertised, tastes of blackberry, but the kind you would get in a Laffy Taffy bar,
Yes.
not biting into a berry.
Yes.
$4.90.
All right, and that brings us to finish. Thank God. Finish.
How much more?
Once again, I gave it a 5. It is not a sip of whiskey. That is not what it is intended for. Now, there's going to be a difference. We'll talk about this after this, but finish is a 5 for me.
Go.
I will not be going second. You go for me.
Only finish everybody else's. The finish for me is bad. Watered down 11. Just this fake and just empty and really hard to do. And
I can't believe you put that much in his glass.
that's just for the shots because the rest of it's about all right.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the finest liqueur.
Half ounce is strenuous to put down as a straight up. I think that anything else in this would make it better.
The finest score I can give, 10 to such a product. I dare say I would rather drink out of my dog's water bowl than have another glass of such without twice as much sweet tea in the glass. It is meant to be a mixed drink and nothing more. And for that, I give it credit.
Yes.
Anything else? Lock it in the dungeon and throw away the key.
Yes, put it in the oubliette, the place of forgetting. Now, to be fair, as I mentioned, this is not a sipping whiskey. We rated it as such. This is meant to be something that you mix, period. And to be honest with that, yes, I would mix this with like a Coke Zero or something like that, and I'd be fine with that because my goal in doing that is I want to put alcohol in something that I enjoy, that I enjoy the flavor of.
You're rationing whether Coke Zero is okay as it is.
Would you ruin the Coke Zero?
That'll be pretty freaking thirsty.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of blackberry flavor. I had actually their apple flavor and their caramel flavor. I would actually prefer to put in a Coke.
Oh, I despise the salted caramel. The salted caramel, I think, is
Ass juice.
oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give that to the
Now,
peasants.
again,
The pigs may have.
again, mixing it in for mixed drinks, for mixing in Coke, mixing in tea, or whatever you like to mix it in. Okay, it does better because it does what it's supposed to do, which is give you a flavor that it's flavored as and provide you with that little bit of alcoholic.
Doesn't even taste like whiskey to me.
Yeah.
To make you
Because it's slow.
funny.
Yeah.
Blackberry flavoring is so strong it's almost all alcoholic.
Indeed.
It's not light on flavor.
Nope.
I have to agree. Terrible.
Yep. Anyway.
Unless it's mixed.
Yes. Anyway, there you have it. An honest review of how you would rate sipping whiskey for Crown Royale Blackberry. We gave it a 56 overall. Whatever you're drinking, we hope it's not this and that you enjoy.
May you have more Crown. Cheers.
Cheers.